But the issue is that Justice Samuel Alito isn't accountable to anybody. He's a Supreme Court justice who is supposed to be impartial in the face of the law. To the extent there are rules about this kind of thing, I mean, what is he supposed to be doing? What kind of signal does it send? And do you view this, do you view these two things also, I would say, as equally problematic, the upside down American flag and this pine tree flag?
You say something really important, and to the extent there are rules, because the rules governing the Supreme Court have no teeth. Last year, 2023, the Supreme Court put out a code of conduct, but there's no enforcement mechanism. There's no way the public can sort of bring a suit or raise a claim against a justice like you can against a lower court justice, a lower court judge. And the language right here is a justice should disqualify himself or herself in a proceeding in which the justice's impartiality might reasonably be questioned. Now, this has nothing to do with the specifics of the flag, and I think I will agree with my friend Scott eventually here about a flag from the American Revolution. Okay, that's a great thing, but right now it has political significance. You can't deny that there's a meaning assigned to that flag. And hold on, and at the time that this was flying over the justice's house, the court was considering whether to take on January 6th cases. Now, whether you like the flag or not, the question is, might the justice's impartiality reasonably be questioned, leading to recusal? And of course it does. Just look at the symbol.
I mean, my honest question, looking at that, can we put those flags back up, the Alito flags, the three of them? Like, isn't the American flag supposed to be flying at the top there, flagpole? I mean,
well,
like, isn't that traditionally where you would put it, right?
They were flying American flags at January 6th. I mean, look, the word reasonably is doing a lot of work here. In my opinion, no reasonable person would conclude that Sam Alito is somehow compromised because he's flying a flag that was commissioned by George Washington himself. 98% of people who were outraged about this today didn't even know it existed 12 hours ago.
Let me use another example for you. Imagine another one of the justices, let's just say Elena Kagan, flies a flag right now in the midst of campus protests and all that's going on in the Middle East with a slice of watermelon on it. Right now, you're looking puzzled because you're like, why does that matter? It's a delicious fruit. It's got lycopene in it. Who cares? It's also a sign of the Palestinian resistance. Now, we might think that, but Scott,
I actually think if Alito wanted to be popular at the New York Times, he would fly that. He'd fly Hezbollah flag. He'd fly Hamas flag. This is crazy.
It's crazy. In any of those instances, if the court, look at the rules. If the court has business involving national security or Hezbollah or Palestine, he should recuse from those cases too. So I think we're in agreement here that
we're not.
We are because
so you'd be cool with it. You'd be cool with.
I don't care about the landscaping choices of Sam Alito. I don't. And I think this is part of a years-long effort to delegitimize this branch of government.
Well, they did that to themselves. All right,
and what to me, the big story is, one political party has been conditioned to believe that because Trump was illegitimate, the Supreme Court is illegitimate because he put 3 people on it, and everything that flows from it is illegitimate. And there is a concerted campaign to delegitimize all these people, and it has come now down to critiquing the choices of decor on the exterior of their houses.
It's not okay. Let's use another example. I care deeply about the Boy Scouts of America, as you know. I know your boys are Cub Scouts too. If I carve the Scout fleur-de-lis in my lawn, fine. If I'm a Supreme Court justice and the Boy Scouts have litigation in front of me, that is a sign of bias under the Supreme Court's rules. And so I think we're conflating a bunch of things. It's the left versus the right and what Democrats say about the Supreme Court and what the rules that he signed last year governing his own conduct say. And plainly that it's a political symbol, even if it's one
says who?
Scott, there's people flying it as a...
Says who?
An upside-down American flag.
No, I'm talking about the pine tree flag.
Either of them, though.
Which is not a popularly known symbol. But you're ascribing a meaning to it. By the way, I worked on Alito's confirmation. I'm the only person here that did it. I know him a little.
Yeah.
There is no conceivable way, in my opinion, that he's flying a flag to give anyone a reasonable idea that he is about to tip his hand on a kiss. That's my view.
But it does underscore his position in our political system. He is using that symbol to align himself with other people who also present the symbol. And what I think Elliot is saying is that that's not right for a justice to do, regardless.
Okay, I'll keep putting these out there. Scott, a Black Lives Matter flag, if a justice flies it over their home. is that, and there are racial justice or police brutality issues coming before the court, is that not a sign of bias or? It's a nonprofit organization.
But that flag has been created in the moment to make a political statement.
Kind of like flying flags
the flag that you're criticizing was created by George Washington to fly over frigates in the Revolutionary War. And if you can't see the difference in that,
Scott,
unbelievable.
No, it's not unbelievable. I'm saying these are all
unreasonable.
All of the examples I gave.
I mean, your old boss went before the Supreme Court and said they would reap the whirlwind if they don't start
Scott,
acting right.
I
understand how you all view it. I just
there's no.
But I'm not going to view this as a reasonable argument.
Scott, I'm just literally reading the rules that these folks wrote and giving you examples of things that, like the American Revolutionary flag.
But you're equating George Washington's flag with the BLM flag?
I'm equating
He's giving
flags
you different examples.
But they're not. They don't match. Is my point.
But they do. But they literally do. They are all things that don't themselves have. Look, the Boy Scouts of America logo is
also not a political symbol.
It is if they've got Scott.
They don't even, by the way, they don't even call it the Boy Scouts.
It's not a question of the political symbol. It's the question of matters that could come before the Supreme Court. They were weighing issues related to that very protest that people were talking about here.
And they
the
still
justice
are.
is necessarily.
They still are. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, they still are. They have before them this massive question of immunity right now. It all relates to the flying of this. And, I mean, why does he need to fly it, right? Like, I mean, couldn't you look at it that way? Like,
How about this, right?
Why does he need to fly it? I mean, does this man not live under the same First Amendment as the rest of us?
He does, but he also lives
but
under
he's a
the Code of
Supreme
Ethics.
Court justice. We're not Supreme Court justices, Mark. Go ahead.
All right, so let me put in a couple things in perspective. I actually live near the justice, knew nothing about this flag, okay?
Right.
A year ago. In fact, the neighborhood didn't necessarily know about the flag, so somebody clearly.
Are you talking about the one in Virginia?
The one in Virginia, yes,
okay.
yes.
So this is the upside down American flag.
Scott, by the way, happens to be on George Washington's farm. George Washington used to own that land up there. Okay, here's the issue in Washington, D.C. There are many couples in Washington, D.C. who have conflicted relationships in the sense the husband or the wife works for somebody where there could be a conflict where their spouse works, okay? So that happens all the
James
time.
Carville and Mary Madeline were married to each other. I don't know if that falls in, but anyway.
Well, right, but you know, look, the reality is, should he flown the flag? No, Scott, he shouldn't have flown the flag. Should he be allowed to fly the flag? Like, there's nothing stopping him from doing it. But he's a Supreme Court justice. He answers to no one. Why would you want to put the flag up there? I mean, that's it. I agree with you that it's an issue that is blowing up and it's going to be made of something, maybe making something out of nothing, basically. But the reality is he shouldn't have done it anyway because this is what is going to happen.
All right, I got to wrap this up, Scott. I just want to nail down something. You do see a distinction between the upside down American flag and this George Washington flag?
No, I don't believe,
not?
I don't personally believe that the flag choices at Alito's house have anything to do with his impartiality or ability to render his duties as a Supreme Court justice.
And so you're
period.
cool with him flying an upside down American flag? Because, I mean, even Lindsey Graham looked at that and said, like, come on, you're a Supreme Court justice.
I don't care, and I think and I have no reason to disbelieve his explanation. Everybody seems to think he's lying about his explanation. Do I believe his wife had a dispute with a neighbor? Yeah, I think he's an honest person, and if that's what he says happened, I believe
I mean, look, if he's blaming his wife and it's not true, I mean, I'd like to see what that dinner table conversation is like, but okay. All right.